All right, y'all ready for the tube?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Say hi, tube.
What up, tube?
Hey,
What up,
YouTube?
tube? Alrighty, and last but of course not least, scanning audio devices, making sure that our audio mixer is correct, and for the podcast, we're ready. In 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another episode of Business Bros. What's up? I don't even know what camera to look at, so I'm just going to look at James.
Let's go this way.
All right, that one. All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Hernan Cias, host of the Business Bros podcast, along with my co-host,
The insurance bro, James Cias with Pipeline Insurance. And let me tell you, we have a hell of a show ready for y'all today. Actually, I'm really excited about this one because I have been seeing Team Steele quite a bit all over the place, all over the Instagram, at Comic-Con, dressed as the man and woman of steel. So, coming to you all the way from Krypton. Just kidding. They're here in San Diego. But with Team Steele, sponsored by Big Block Realty. Welcome to the show, and thank you for joining us, John and Melissa Steele.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you
so
for
much for
having us.
having us. We're excited about this.
he's got a good intro thing going
It
on.
was
He
a great
does.
intro.
That was
He's like, this is my role.
It was
I'm,
legit.
I'm taking
It's
it
like
on.
it's like what I do.
It's
He's-
what-
I know.
yeah.
He's done it a few times.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Yeah.
He's
a
like,
pro.
this is when I get to talk, so I'm going to make the most of it.
Because the rest of the time, I'm just gonna put the microphone down, mess around with the cameras, and let you
Yeah.
guys do your thing. So,
Exactly.
amazing.
you know,
All right, ladies and gents, before we get started, because they got a cool story, 365 pairs of shoes by the end of the year. We're at 196, so we've passed the halfway marker. If you got new shoes, used shoes, or you want to donate cash, hit James up 619-884-0045 or james@csfirst.com. He'll hop on that orange Harley right out there, pick up the shoes. He's got some saddlebags, so last time he picked up 36 pairs of shoes. So if you could beat 36 pairs of shoes, we'd love to see you try. All right, and then if you
that
want to bring
sounded
them...
like a challenge.
It was a challenge. Hear that?
That-
And then if you're not
yeah.
busy or you want to bring them on Saturday, we're gonna be in IB doing a beach cleanup from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. So if you got anybody who wants to do some community service, maybe you got a DUI, you made a mistake, or you're in high school and you need to get some community service hours, we'll be out there 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. this Saturday, August 24th. And on Sunday, we got Christian's Big Heart Run. For more details, go to christiansbigheart.org. It's going to be at Roar Park. It's all for a good cause. So that's what's going on this weekend. See you guys there.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
some shoes too.
Perfect.
Yeah, actually, you do
I do
have
have
some
some shoes.
shoes.
Well,
We're gonna be hitting you up.
She acts like I don't have that many shoes.
Well, we have some in the give. Like we got a, you
I've
know,
got 2 or 3, I think.
2 or 3 rooms full.
2 or 3 too many.
That's why I got them to get rid of.
I know.
See, because he needs room for the new ones that are going to go in that
That's
spot.
right, that's
That's how it works, right?
Yeah,
So, guys, I want to know a little bit about the two of you. You guys are like match made in heaven. You guys, perfect couple out there. I mean, then you got into doing real estate. Like, how'd you guys decide to get into this sort of field?
I mean, we honestly kind of fell into it.
Yeah.
So when we moved out here from Buffalo, New York, did not know anyone at all. Basically just literally quit our jobs, packed up, got in the car and started driving. When we landed here, we obviously needed jobs. I was just kind of looking ultimately for whoever would hire me. Basically like the first job we could get so we could be paying rent.
Well, that's what he did. I found what I thought at the time was my dream job. Turned out to not be. I now do that. I now do my dream job on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But he fell into.
I fell into real estate as a real estate assistant. So was basically just working behind the scenes, helping out agents, helping in the office on transactions and stuff like that. And did that for about a year. Ended up like really liking real estate. Like I honestly never thought I was going to be like a salesperson. I'm not really like a salesy type. And I think we try to run our business like we're not like the typical pushy salesy people. But did that for about a year, then got pulled over to like a flipper company, worked with them for about a year. And then so after about 2 years in real estate, really kind of like saw, everyone doing their thing. And I was like, why am I not doing this for myself?
I should be doing the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, hey, I can do it, just as good, if not better than all these people. So
he enrolled me
Yeah.
because I had always been a fan of real estate. I actually bought my first house at age 21.
Woo.
Much different market in Buffalo, New York, of course. But that was my first kind of step into real estate and the power of real estate home ownership. And I got 2 roommates. It was a 3-bedroom home. we created an awesome one when I was just out of college. So like I wanted roommates. I was like, I can't live by myself. Like what's going to happen? So I had 2 roommates who paid me like really minimal rent, but I had a great job and I started paying down my principal on my mortgage. And within like 3 years, I had paid off that house. And it really showed me the power of like getting creative, because those roommates really helped pay off my mortgage. And I think knowing what I know now, really my only regret that I've ever made in real estate is selling that home and not refinancing it and, you know,
keeping it long term.
Yeah. But that was really like our first foray with real estate. And when we moved out here, he fell into real estate as the assistant. We ended up buying 4 rental properties while we had our W-2s. We were like, let's take advantage. So we purchased 4 properties in like the Tennessee area, and we've never been to Tennessee, so we were a little bit ballsy. Our parents were like, that's a scam. And I was like, well, it's a pretty good scam.
Yeah, we still have never been to Tennessee.
Yeah, we've still
big
never
ups.
seen them.
We have 1, 2, 3. We had 4 properties. Same thing, Texas and Alabama.
Yeah.
Sight unseen.
Yeah.
As long as they pass inspection.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
I feel like you got to do your due diligence.
I guess a little bit ambitious, because
Of
I mean at the
course.
time we were not as experienced in real estate as we are now, obviously.
Yeah.
But I mean it's worked out. It's been great. And
Yeah.
I
that
think,
was an experience in real estate, right?
For
That's
sure.
the thing. It showed us what was possible.
Yeah.
it's the best way to just do it. Start doing it.
It's just money.
Yeah. I mean, we
It's-
tell people all the time the best time to like buy or sell or make an investment is really when it's coming up. It's really hard, like when it's coming up for you. It's really hard to time the market, to, you know, find the perfect investment. You kind of have to like make a move, learn from the mistakes that you make, learn from the wins that you have, and then, you know, navigate to the next one.
Yeah, I think too many people too get caught up in looking for like the perfect investment to where they never do
Make an
anything. They
investment.
just like sit on the sidelines the whole time, just like crunching numbers and spreadsheets, and then they like never even, you know,
They suffer
get
from
their feet wet.
paralysis of analysis.
Yeah.
That, or they're trying to turn $1 into $100, right? They're trying to flip it like, you know, 1,000%. Like, if it doesn't make me 1,000%, it's not my deal, right?
And you're like, I want to find those deals all day long.
Yeah, of course.
But I think probably one of the craziest things that we did, I mean, 1, quitting our jobs, moving out here, but then 2, you had already left your job, and then a week before our wedding, I quit my job too, and we literally started our business from the money that people gave us for our wedding. Like we had zero income.
Yeah, we're very, if you want to take the island, you got to burn the ships type of people.
Yeah.
So we did that when we left our jobs in Buffalo, which were pretty good, like finance jobs, you know, great 401ks, great healthcare. Our parents were like, what are you doing? And we were like, we're going to make it. We're going to go to San Diego. We'll figure it out. And then literally, I was just, you know, talking to a friend about this recently. Literally no one in our life, when we were like, should John quit his job too? Everybody was like, are you guys insane? Like, no. And there was not one person in our life who was like, that's a great idea.
Well,
So we didn't tell anybody. We got married and nobody knew that we were both unemployed.
So okay, like all amazing stuff. I got a ton of questions.
Okay.
First of all,
incredible.
Yeah, right?
Super brave. Kudos, bravo. Outstanding.
I'm just glad to hear I'm not the only one who got married when I was dead broke.
I mean, brave, or it was really a little bit insane. Like
It was. But
yeah.
how did you decide San Diego? Like, there's a plenty of places to go. You're coming from Buffalo, New York. Like,
That's a
how
great
did you
question.
decide
Can I
San
take
Diego?
This question? 'Cause this is a pretty funny one.
You can definitely.
So like we set our sights on like California.
We had taken a trip.
Yeah, we had
And, like,
taken a road trip from
loved
San
it.
Diego to San Fran, up Highway 1, and we had been kind of like deciding where to move in general. He had really wanted to move to New York City, but I grew up in New Jersey, and with the work ethic I have, I was like, I'm one of those people who's going to move to the city and die at 40 at a heart
You grew
attack.
up
Like, I can't.
in Jersey, pretty close to the
Yeah,
city,
like
too.
right across from the George Washington Bridge. So we were like deciding where to move, and we set our sights on California. And he was like set on San Fran, and I was like set on San Diego. And we also like decided we would be open to LA. But because we moved out here and didn't have jobs, we committed to wherever we found a job first. And we navigated to San Diego because it was the cheapest option of the 3 out of LA, San Fran, and San Diego. And so about 2 weeks in, our full-time job was looking for jobs. And we were just applying for about, 6 to 8 hours a day. Still making our way to the beach, of course, because we were here in San Diego.
You got to.
Yeah. But about 2 weeks in, I was like, so John, like, how many jobs have you applied to in San Fran? And he was like, none. I really like it here.
San Diego sucks you in. I mean, once you're here, you're like, why would anyone not want to live here?
And
It was the Mexican food, wasn't it?
I mean,
He
it definitely
is-
helps.
The burritos, yeah, the daily burritos were a deciding factor for sure for John.
I mean, yeah, the beach. I mean,
The weather.
You guys
like
know
you
the weather.
came from places where weather is like
We can't.
huge peaks and valleys.
It
on
was-
that.
Well, really, we were
Yeah.
planning on moving in June from Buffalo, and it was January, and we were waking up at 5 a.m. every morning to shovel the car out, and we would have to shovel ourselves back into the driveway at 5 p.m. And I was like, why the
You'd
frick
have
are we
to-
staying here until June?
I
The
mean-
nice time of year. I was like, let's leave now.
Yeah, you'd have to turn your car on 30 minutes early so you could defrost the windows and scrape the ice off. And I mean, she had a huge driveway, and that shoveling that was hell. So it's just like,
We were like, let's get out of here
Yeah.
in the winter.
That actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Like of all the things you've said so far, that one made sense to leave.
That was an educated and
That
informed
was-
decision.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So okay, so you guys moved to San Diego. Were you married already, or did you guys get
We
married
were
after?
not. John decided that on the road trip, actually. We took a 7-week road trip because we decided we were never probably going to be fun employed again. So we had put my house up for sale. We sold literally everything we owned. We sold John's car, and we only packed what fit in my Honda Accord. And we decided, actually, one of the main reasons, another reason we left in like January, end of January time, was because John really wanted to make it to Miami for Ultra Music Festival. His like
Pit stop.
manager,
Yeah.
his manager at the bank was like, sorry, you can't have off that weekend. He was like, watch me, I'm gonna totally be there. And
Is
No.
Like-
Well, then I quit.
yeah, basically is what happened.
literally, he had that meeting with his manager. He came home. He wrote out this whole road trip plan, and I was like, "You're insane! Like, we're not moving till June." And then, literally 2 weeks later, I had a similar meeting with my manager. And I was like, "Let me see the road trip plan." So he like pulled out his notebook, which he had done literally with a map and a notebook, penciled in, and there were I think 23 cities along the way. And we had 7, like basically he planned it out 7 weeks, and we
crashed
landed
like
in
between a combination of like friends and family, and then like hotels and stuff like that along the way.
and we landed in Miami. Perfect timing for Ultra. We enjoyed it.
And
And then made
landed
it
in San Diego. Yeah.
Oops, sorry.
And then we traveled across the southern part of the United States and got to San Diego end of April.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then again, just started looking for jobs.
And then that's when you guys decided to get married along the trip.
Oh, actually, John.
We got married. Well, actually, we got married in, I guess, 2014.
Well, he
I, like, don't
decided
even
to
know
marry
what I
me,
asked
I
him.
guess, at Ultra. We were dancing away, and he was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this is gonna be my dancing partner."
Well,
for
we
life."
also were spending a lot of. We were also spending a lot of time in a very tight like car, just drive.
Yeah,
like,
we did. I guess he did, like
and I
kind
was
of
like,
had
this,
the
she's not
realization.
driving me that crazy. So
Right?
Only a little bit. So
Yeah.
I guess if I can go 7 weeks living in like I don't know how
Confined
much
space.
Yeah, then
Yeah.
we were good to go. So he made the decision there, and then asked me in the October after we moved here. So about 6 months into our
yeah, about
journey
eight,
here.
8 months, right? Because
Well, we got here in April.
Oh yeah, no. So I guess
Yeah.
yeah, and then we got married.
We got secretly married, actually.
Yeah, we actually eloped. So
Nobody
just the two
knew.
of us. Nobody knew.
We literally
Again, we
paid
do
a
crazy
witness.
things.
Yeah.
And then a year after we legally got married, we had like our wedding with our friends and family and everything.
Yeah.
That's
Some people
amazing.
literally, if they're watching this, might have just found that
this
out.
might be the first time you guys are hearing this story.
So
our grandma
they all
just
know
found
just that you got married that year later. That's the only
Oh,
major
most-
announcement.
Most
type
people,
thing.
yeah.
Most people, yes. And only recently, actually, this past year, because it was our 5-year wedding anniversary, right?
Yeah, but everyone thought it was our
Everyone-
4.
It was, everyone thought it was our 4, so I was like, this will be the transition year. Or actually, it was last summer. It was supposed to be 3, and I, like, transitioned to 4. And I was like, John, your mom's going to comment on this, like, right away. And she literally did.
She knew.
She was like, it's 3. And I was like, hee hee. Here's a little secret for you.
They took it all right because we still had the wedding and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
so
yeah.
it was
Yeah.
still,
They
And
wanted
I-
to be included, at least in
Yeah.
that part.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit, like, crazy about stuff like that. So we literally had to find a chapel in Bonita for July 12th the year prior because I was so committed to the anniversary date being the same. I knew people were going to get us gifts with July 12th on them.
Mm-hmm.
And we already had our wedding planned and everybody invited to it. So I was like, all right, well, we have to get married on July 12th the year prior if we're going to do this eloping thing.
That's dude. So far, your life's been ballsy.
We
It was
like
definitely
to li-
ballsy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of. I mean, that's a lot of leap and worry about the parachute later type stuff. Like
Yes.
that's
I mean,
No
what
pressure,
did they
no
say?
diamonds.
You build the parachute or build the plane on the way down or whatever.
Yeah.
You got enough time to figure it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
figure it out.
I mean,
Tuck and
you're
roll,
young
you're
too.
good.
You can make mistakes.
It's
I mean-
absolutely true.
Yeah, and we've fallen a couple times and we pick ourselves back up and we figure it out. And
Yeah.
So okay, so you guys finally get into real estate,
Mhm.
right? and it's just like you go off and rolling and you're completely successful right off the bat, or how did that go?
No.
No.
I mean, real estate, as with any business, I feel like it's extremely hard to start out. There's always like an uphill battle that you get to work through. There's always a lot of upfront time and commitments that you get to do. And we very consistently, from August through about March, we're working like 16 hours a day, and we closed, I think, a total of 3 deals.
I mean, I think we were a little bit naive at first, which, I mean, I guess it worked out. But, I mean, I would say we were able to hit the ground running a little bit more than most agents, because I had that background working as a real estate assistant, and then also working with, the flippers. So I feel like that experience helped for sure, that I wasn't like totally green stepping in. But with us relocating here, like, we really didn't know, like, we didn't have friends or cousins or high school, people, like, we had
zero circle.
The only circle we had was in real estate.
I mean, honestly,
tough, right?
That's soon after we moved to, like, I will not lie, we were pretty lame. There was like a party that we tried to host and literally no one came to it at one point.
You're like,
he showed up.
You're like still,
it was us too.
You know what I mean? You're still like trying to make friends in a new city. So, I mean, we were a little bit naive with that, but I mean, honestly, like she said, we struggled through the first couple months. We did the typical thing where agents, we couldn't just throw shit at a wall and see what sticks, and you waste a lot of money, waste a lot of time. And, but after kind of trying a lot of things, what we really found that we liked is doing open houses. One, there's 2 of us there, so it makes it a lot easier. We had a whole system where, I drop her off, she gets the house ready, I get the signs out. And then, like, 10, 15 minutes before.
Lady agents, find yourself a little man friend.
and then yeah, like 10, 15 minutes before you have to close up, I can get the signs, pick it up, and
last minute people who come
and then I come back, and boom, we're on to the next. And we
actually used to do doubles, so we would do like a 9 to noon and then a 1:30 to 4:30 every single weekend.
We had set the goal
of 100 in
so
1 year.
We started in August of 2014.
I don't know.
Something like that. Yeah, like, basically we closed like 2 small deals kind of like early on, and then we had basically
that was the universe giving us the gift to know that we could do it.
Right.
Then we had
and then they slapped you with reality.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not that easy. No.
Then it was like 10 months. We were.
I think it was like almost like 8 months before we closed our next one. Again, we had like 0 income. I mean, we were selling stuff online, like just like doing whatever.
Making it work.
Can.
I was walking dogs around the neighborhood, babysitting, selling the rest of what we owned online. We were like, making it work. We were like committed to not failing at what we had set out to do.
We had like a burn date, literally a note with a date where, like, if we don't if we don't do something, like if we don't close something by this date, we're gonna have to like potentially like reevaluate, move, all that stuff.
Potentially get a job.
But I mean, we got definitely like into like goal setting and personal development, and at the beginning of that year, we set the goal of doing 100 open houses, and we hit that goal. I think we did like 101 or something. But that ultimately was kind of like the foundation of our business. Starting out, we also had set the goal to do, I think it was 16 deals or make like 100,000 in commission or whatever. And by June 1st, we had closed one deal.
But then from June 1st through December 31st, we closed 17 for a total of 18. So we accomplished
literally
the goal.
it like just snowballed.
But it took that 100 open houses, talking to all those different people, getting them through the process of pre-qualification, continuing to nurture. You filled the pipeline pretty heavily.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
and consistency too, because like realistically, we worked 7 days a week, both of us consistently for like 12 to 16 hours a day,
basically
and
for free.
And we enjoyed it. I mean, we were having a great time, but there were plenty of nights where we sat next to each other eating like an 11 p.m. dinner, like, is this what we want to do? Is this gonna work out for us?
Yeah.
But I mean, you said you were working for free, but you really weren't. It's just, when you have that mentality of you clock in, you get paid every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like
you're trading time
for money.
Yeah.
You were trading your time, and you didn't get a paycheck till 6 months down the road.
Yeah.
But then they started to come in.
Yeah, we were setting the foundation.
I'd say in investing like in ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, how
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yeah.
When did it click? Like, when was that moment when it just...
I think, I mean, it probably after that snowball, kind of, I mean, probably by the end of the year on that.
Yeah, I feel like for us, the thing about us, and I would say more so me, is it's almost like a little bit of insanity where, like, when I have a vision, it's almost like if somebody tells me it's not going to happen, I'm like, yeah, just watch us.
me.
Like, yeah, like,
Who
watch
are
me.
you to
Because,
tell
yeah,
me?
exactly. And it's almost like people are like, okay, like, that's not feasibly going to happen. And I'm like, well, yes, it is, because I can, like, imagine that it's going to happen. So, like, I can visualize it's going to happen. So it's going to happen. So even though we realistically, like, had the burn date on the calendar as to, like, when we would officially run out of money, and, oh, you know what the actual turning point was? Turnaround day. There was literally a day where he was writing a blog post on the couch because we were building content for our website, and I was sitting at the kitchen sink, and, like, the stress and overwhelm was so much from not being able to basically afford the dinner that I was about to cook. And he literally looked at me and he was like, you know, I hope all of this isn't, like, in vain. I hope
Like,
we don't
for
put
nothing.
I hope we don't put all of this effort in for nothing. And I was like, that right there. I was like, this is the turnaround point. I was like, that's the mindset we get to shift, because literally, like, there is no way that we can put in this much effort to not produce results. And here we are holding ourselves back. So literally next to the burn date on the refrigerator, we literally put turnaround day on it's February
actually
23rd.
true,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, like, that next weekend or something, like, we went into, like, open houses. We're like, we're gonna freaking crush this, like,
Because
and
you subconsciously bring that energy to what you've got going on. When
And
you're feeling like in a slump, you're gonna subconsciously bring that, and literally turnaround day.
I think we got like 2 or 3 solid leads that we ended up closing
within
like
the next few months.
and that's
yeah. And
so
it was a total mindset shift. So yes,
For sure.
turnaround.
You were
day.
still doing,
love it.
yeah, you were still doing
Love
the
it.
open houses, but the way you did them changed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
For
wasn't
sure.
no more. It wasn't about, you know, just go open the house, put out the signs.
It
Now you
wasn't-
had a purpose at each one.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
wasn't like this like 8-month burden. It was like, okay, we got to let all that shit go. Like, that's literally what's not clicking for us. That's what's in the gap right now. So, like, when we turned around and we shifted into, like, just walking into that open house and, like, you know, crushing it and really connecting with people and, like, being the confident people that we had started out as 8 months prior before being
I think
down, I feel like.
that we think we started because you
You
that
build
you
so
build
much
your
skill.
confidence, you
Yeah.
build your skills, like you know you learn what to say, how to act, like how to carry yourself, you know what to look for in their body language, what they're saying, all that stuff. So
Even what to look for in a client, too. Because when you're just starting out, it's like, oh, we should be working with everybody.
yeah,
You're
because
starting.
some people are just a waste of time.
Yeah,
Or just not
Yeah.
the right fit, too. You know, there's people who are not going to resonate with the way that you do business and vice versa.
But when you're first starting, you're like, I need a check.
Yeah, you're like, I need to put some dinner on the table, so everybody seems like a good option.
Yeah.
No, but I like the whole mentality shift there, because I mean that's a lot of work. You guys there are very few people who commit to taking action and then consistently take action, because you're right. Like when you were talking about your confidence level, you started off ambitious. You may not have
Yeah.
had skills yet, but you started off very ambitious,
Yeah.
and you got the shit kicked out of you.
Yeah, you get
You
slapped
got
across the
beat
face.
down for a while, and at the bottom you still bloodied, bruised. You still looked up and you did the Rocky thing, like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm getting up. I was listening to this motivational thing while I'm running on the treadmills in the morning, right?
Yeah.
So I'm running on the treadmill and I'm listening to somebody talk about it, and they were like, I like Rocky, the first one when he's fighting Apollo, and like in the 14th round, Apollo like knocks him down. And then Rocky gets back up and he's bloodied and bruised. And he said, the thing that drives me is that look on Apollo's face, like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He's like,
Just stay down.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
what is this guy? And that's how I feel like you guys were at that point. Like, it didn't matter what
Yeah.
was kicking you down, you still got up, and then your whole mind shift changed at that point.
Yeah.
Now you're at Apollo, like, there's nothing gonna keep me down.
Yeah,
I'm
it
gonna
was like,
get this.
yeah, this is absolutely going to work. Like, we brought so much new energy into the whole process with the turnaround day.
And I'm a firm believer that, like, in order to like really appreciate the highs and all that stuff, you have to go through that. Because like if you, I don't know, if you start a business or whatever, like if you're kind of just like handed things or things come easy, I don't know, you don't really get that thick skin or whatever to like, then if something does go wrong later,
You don't know how to
you're
handle it.
not prepared for it. You know what I mean? Like, because it was whatever you did, you didn't have to go through that struggle. Now, I mean, shit comes and it's just, you deal with
No
it
problem.
and move right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like it also really builds such a deep level of gratitude. Like now, on the days where things go great, it's like, wow, like this, we have worked so hard for this. Like I feel so deeply grateful for when things go right, because it's been such a struggle when things have gone wrong.
So let's talk a little bit about
really quickly. Another thing that just from the story that you guys told, another thing that I noticed changed was your expectation, where it seemed like you guys were struggling and kind of going through a hard time and not having the success that you wanted. But that turnaround day was like your expectation changed, where you said, there's no way that we can work this hard and not have success. Your expectation changed right there.
Yeah.
And I think it's phenomenal. I love it.
Yeah,
Love
definitely. I mean, jumping off that too, you probably saw it as a real estate agent too. I'm like looking at people who have business and I'm like, these people suck. Like, like there is no reason that they can get clients and we can't. Like, when I know without a doubt that I'm better than them. Like, I mean,
work harder.
You've seen listing photos.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
Well, I know
Seriously?
sometimes, like my
that's
motto.
not even a good iPhone.
Hey now.
The best is when
Shots fired.
The best is when it's like literally a
I
drive-by
was gonna
shot,
say.
and you can see like the blurry vegetation at the bottom of the shot, and you're like, bro, you couldn't even stop the car.
or like a Google Maps screenshot.
Yes.
I literally, I mean, you've seen it all, like fingers in the photo, upside down thumbnails. I'm just
My
like,
motto is always, okay, we get to take their business. It's all good.
yeah.
Yeah. But it's perspective. Right?
Yeah.
It's how you can take that same thing and get jealous and upset, or you can take it as a positive. All right, cool. Well, now it's time for me to show them what I got.
Yeah,
right. This
right.
is
Yeah.
exactly what's gonna happen. That's the last time that person worked with that person, right?
Yeah, right. Hopefully.
Well, and I think that's I think that is a testament to what we do on a daily basis. Like I would say from the very first day, in really all things that we do, and how you do one thing is how you do anything, right? But like I feel like John and I perform in such a high level of excellence, like we are not willing to compromise what we believe in regards to the client experience, what we believe in for integrity. And like we have left so much money on the table and walked away from it, whether it be from listings or buyers that we've talked out of buying really bad properties, or like money pit situations, because we know that will come back to us in tenfold over time, so it was so tough. Like literally in that time span, we walked away from a few listings with unrealistic sellers who, had a totally different expectation or wanted a discount agent. And at one point John was like, do we just like go for those? And I was like, yeah, but they're going to end up disappointed. And like, that's not what we're committed to. So therefore it's not our ideal client. And that mentality and like holding steadfast in that excellence has really been what's exploded our business. Like, it's not a surprise to me that we have no reviews that are less than 5 stars, because we've walked away from everything that would be less than a 5-star experience for the client.
Up front.
Well,
Yeah.
if we don't think we can meet their
Achieve,
expectations, then it's setting us up for failure, and we're going to be unhappy. They're going to be unhappy. And ultimately, like, that's not the business we're into building.
Yeah. Why put yourself through that?
Yeah.
Or
100%.
put the client. Like one of the biggest realizations for us when we were learning our real estate license, or learning the material for our real estate licenses, is I reflected back on when I had bought my house in Buffalo as a 21-year-old, and the agent that I had used had misguided me in multiple situations. And I had asked direct questions and she had lied in response. And I didn't realize until I was going through my real estate education really that the client is always the one that gets the short end of the stick when somebody is misrepresenting them in a real estate transaction. And people are literally making the biggest investment of their life in most cases, especially in some place like San Diego. And I was like, that's bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
That was bullshit for me when I was 21, and I'm like committed as heck to not letting any of our clients feel that way or feel misguided or, you know what I mean, or misled in any regard. Like, we will always shoot it to you straight, even if it's not what you want to hear in the moment.
But you got the truth,
Yeah.
right? That's
The truth will set you free.
The truth will set you free. But you sleep better at night, right? Your
Yeah,
clients are much more
definitely.
happier. Your referrals are through the roof because you provide that
Yeah.
great,
Yeah.
excellent service. I mean, that's the way to operate. I wanted to ask you guys about what you're doing today, because I'm sure the way you're getting business today is not the 100 open houses.
No,
in the
I mean,
6-month
Well, we
period.
still do open houses. We honestly really enjoy them, so we still do them.
We still do them. I mean, we're not doing,
we're not doing
like
100. I'll tell you that.
when we did 100, I mean, she kind of mentioned the double doubles. Like, we would literally do Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, and we'd like have like an hour in the middle or an hour and a half in the middle where we'd drive between them, slam lunch down, and like, go on. But no, I mean, today, I mean, we still do open houses. We I would say invested a lot in the online space, like very early on. Like, really after that first year, we ended up doing pretty well with like the 17 deals that ended up coming through the second half. But we kind of just took all of that and just dumped it right back into the business. Heavily investing in SEO, doing a lot of like video content,
written
all that
content
stuff
too. I mean, our blog is really hefty. Like, when you type in San Diego real estate agents, we show up on the first page of Google. And I feel like it's just been the consistency. Like, John literally started out writing a blog post a week. And
I mean,
like,
now we
we've
have
done
people who
videos.
write blog posts for us. I mean, at this point, we literally have people reaching out practically on a daily basis asking to post stuff on ours. So we have people giving us content for free at this point. And so we get leads on our website. Obviously referrals those are honestly some of the best, clients, not, leads and clients.
We had done a lot of experimenting with like traditional ad platforms, and we stepped away from that completely because what we realized was there was those clients are really like shopping around. They're in the research phase. And our ideal client is somebody who finds us and like falls in love with us before they're even ready.
And kind of like knows our value. Like, I mean, we dumped probably a lot of money into Facebook ads and stuff, and we did close deals. We did get a return on it, but what we noticed is it's just like it was like a much lower quality.
Took a lot more work.
Took a lot more work, and like she said, it's kind of those people who are kind of like opting into those, they might be opting to like the Redfin, and they're kind of just like throwing everything and like whatever.
Seeing which one works.
They don't necessarily care who's on the other end. They just want somebody to, open the door for them or whatever. Where we kind of want to more attract like people who literally see how we operate, the content we put out,
understand the value,
the integrity that we hold ourselves to, like what we're committed to, and say like, wow, like that's who I want to work with. Mm-hmm. Like, try to sell them on us before, they even really know.
They want to be your friends.
That's the thing. And I mean, that's like that's why we have so much fun.
Yeah. That does make a big difference.
And we're friends with a lot of our clients. Like, I mean,
we hang out with like almost all of our clients.
Yeah. So if you threw a party today, people show up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yes. Last year we had a housewarming. It had like 130 people there.
Yeah. We're planning our client. We're planning our client appreciation
party
for this year. Probably in October. We just actually started that today. But yeah, last year we did like a client appreciation housewarming event because we had basically moved into our house, finished renovating that, and yeah, we had like 120, 130 people. We had a taco truck, bounce house, music, photo booth,
and people showed up.
Yeah, people
much different than the first party we threw in San Diego.
So you guys came in 2014?
We got here in 2013.
13?
Yes. 2013.
She would know better than I would.
April 20th, 2013.
420? Yeah, easy to remember. But now, like, if you can look back and reflect and give new agents some advice, what advice would you give them to help them, get past those little bit of hurdles at the beginning?
Yeah. I love that question.
And we give a lot of agents advice. So, like, feel free to call us. I feel like it was very odd for us when we first started out to call some of the big players in the industry and kind of get shut down. Like, I'm not going to share my secrets. There's no secrets, my friends.
There's no industry. Everybody's doing the same.
So call us if you want to connect.
Yeah. I mean, what I tell people is, I mean, there's no right or wrong way to do this business. I see people, doing all sorts of crazy stuff from, wearing interesting outfits to having their dog as a mascot to, door knocking, cold calling, open houses. Like, literally, there's so many different ways you can do this. I say choose one and go all in. Mm-hmm. Like, just go all in, because you probably know too, like, it's going to take probably 6+ months for you to even start to see results. Mm-hmm. So I think too many agents, and we kind of did it at first too, you kind of just like start trying to do everything and you don't do anything effectively, and you don't even give anything the time to develop. So it's like, oh yeah, I went, door knocking twice, and then now I'm like cold calling like, once a week,
and it doesn't work.
And I did an open house, but I didn't get any sign in. It's like none of that. Of course you're not going to get any results from that.
Practice.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Once you've got one thing down, then you can, then maybe you should think about taking on other things.
And the other feedback I say is like, don't spend money. We blew.
Well, in the beginning.
In the beginning, don't spend money. Like, figure out what you love about this business. Figure out what works for you, because we blew, through a nice chunk of our wedding funds. Sorry, friends. On, like Zillow ads and, like different marketing. We did a mailer or two. And the thing was, we didn't have the skills and we hadn't curated ourselves enough to be able to even convert the leads that came in off of those things. Where once we had focused in on open houses and we realized we loved them, well, then it was really easy to focus funds and marketing efforts on that because we loved it and we started to become an expert at it, and we were able to convert the leads that we were getting from those open houses. And then like after the first year, realizing that we really liked the content building and the video, being on video and like producing content that would really resonate with our ideal client, which is, an educated and informed individual who wants to work with somebody who's really going to guide them and take the process from A to Z. We didn't know those things and know that we had to funnel money into those things until we had done, a good amount of practicing and educating and learning the business and what we loved about the business. And I feel like as agents, we get sold a lot of stuff right off the bat.
And something else that I think is really important too is like build a business that you're going to enjoy, because we tried cold calling and like, don't get me wrong, some people love it
and some people are real good at it.
We freaking hated it. Like we did it. It was during the time, where we like were in an 8-month gap with not closing deals, and we're like
turnaround.
Yeah, we're literally like time blocking every day. We were hitting it, and like I just like hated it. And I'm like, okay, let's say this works. Do I want to keep doing, like, maybe I close a deal, but do I even want to keep doing that? So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to find what works for you too. You don't necessarily want to build a business that then in 3 years you're like, I freaking hate my life.
Yeah, but I know people who like love the cold calling space and they crush it from like 8 to 11 and that's their day, and then they go off and do something else, and like it just wasn't filling our cup, so it wasn't the right fit. It wasn't worth the time and the effort.
I like that. Pick what makes you happy and then stick to it.
Yeah.
Stick to it.
And then do it over and over and over and over again.
Dude, that pretty much describes the podcast.
I'm sure. I think
any business. Anything.
Yeah,
any business. Because even
successful.
Any successful businesses, exactly. I see it in restaurants. I see it literally in the yoga studio that I go to. Like, it opened 2 years ago. I was one of like 2 or 3 people in every class, and now I'm in there with 15 to 20 people consistently. It's because they stuck it out. They learned what worked for them. They learned what their ideal client looked like. And so any business, I think, can really be successful if you're focusing on the things that you love about it, and you're building content and like creating a business that resonates with you and your ideal client.
Yeah, well, speaking of content, we both went to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
We both took a camera crew.
Yeah.
And then when you look at the videos that we created, they're completely different.
Yeah.
And that, like you said a little while ago, that you like to build content that's geared towards the type of client that you want.
Well, at this point, like, people know that we're a little bit weird,
I mean,
which we are. I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, we kind of just like to have fun with it. Like, that was another thing I would say that we learned through the process of us growing is, I think a lot of people start out with this perception of like, I have to look like a real estate agent. You know what I mean? I have to like.
What does that look like?
I don't. You know what I mean? Like they try
a little
to
stuffy.
They try to like appeal to everyone, right? Like I can't say this on social media. Or I have to like, I can't wear these. You know what I mean? I have to look a certain way, dress a certain way, act a certain way. And one of the big shifts for us is we realize like, in trying to appeal to everyone, you don't really like. You kind of, you're just so manila, right? You just blend into whatever. And when we kind of shifted and stepped into just like being ourselves, being weird, like a lot of the Instagram, like we actually started on Snapchat, but
one of our like best videos ever was a Kim and Kanye takeover where I pretended to be Kim Kardashian all day and he pretended to be Kanye.
With like the face swap thing, you know, with the social, and like she gave a tour as like Kim Kardashian, and it was like, it went,
and people went
crazy about it.
And so that's why it was great.
And it was very inappropriate
yeah,
too.
it's extremely inappropriate. You can find that shit on YouTube. But basically recently we got an amazing opportunity with the American Dream TV. So we have a monthly segment. Finally made it to
that's
TV.
Where you guys saw us.
That's where you saw us. And we did our first shoot in Imperial Beach, and honestly, we were a bit nervous. John had like 3 pages of notes for a 4-minute segment. I was like, bro, what's happening
I
here?
like to be prepared.
He's a little different than I did. I had no notes, and he like gave me his notes for this episode the morning of. I read through them. It was a 20-minute recording. I was like, we have a 4-minute segment. This freaks me out. So then the second one, we were brainstorming ideas because we get to like really curate the content and figure out what we're going to do for the show. And I was like, we should go to Comic-Con. So I called the studio, and our shoot was not that day. And I was like, can we switch it? And the studio loved the idea. So they were like, all right, we'll try and switch your block. So we got the Comic-Con block. And then literally the next day, we had actually dressed up as Pokemon characters like a few years prior for Halloween. We really like to do costumes. And I basically was like, we should wear our Pokemon costumes. And he's like, no, we should wear like, we should be Superman and Superwoman and
with our name.
Steel.
Yeah.
And I was like, hell yeah. So I called the studio back and I was like, so can we dress up? And they were like, as what? And I was like, Superman and Superwoman. And they were like, hell yeah. So we were the Team of Steel.
Yeah, we had them. Perfect. I mean, did you get to see it? They did like special effects.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Had you fly over the city?
We were in the green
cool.
screen, but I mean, yeah, like
amazing.
that's just what we've embraced. Like, you know, being ourselves, and people who like us, like they're gonna like us, and people who don't, that's totally fine. Like it's kind of like if you're trying to grab everyone again, like. No matter how hard you work or try to impress some people, like you're just not going to appeal to them. So like, why try to kind of swim upstream? Just like go for the people who are naturally like you're resonating with and
nurture them.
We actually just
yourselves.
got the show, our Superman episode launched on Sunday, and I got a phone call on Monday actually, the first lead from it. And he was like, I found you on Google. You guys have hundreds of 5-star reviews. But really what did it for me was I saw you all suited up, and I knew I had to call you.
Yeah.
And I was like, suited up as like Superman and Superwoman? And he was like, yes.
Yeah. I mean,
He's
literally.
like, I immediately knew you were my agent. And I was like, no way, because typically suited up means suit and tie, and like the way you typically think a realtor to look. And he was immediately like, as soon as I saw the photo, I was like, I gotta call these guys.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. He connected, but he's probably like, this guy over here, superhero nerd. And he was like, that's it. That's mine.
I know.
Right
He was like,
there.
those are my agents.
Winner.
It's done. Yeah. That's exactly what
That's
happened.
how it works, right?
Yeah.
I mean, anytime you connect with somebody on a personal level, like it just takes that relationship to a different place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about, there's no more facade of that professional. You don't have to worry about crossing the line, friendship. What can I or can't say?
Yeah.
You guys are just you.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
I mean, I
And
love when that wall kind of drops, because then like work is fun.
And
like,
we
it's
make
just,
that happen for our clients too. Like sometimes we'll meet with people and they're taken aback by the fact that like we do hugs. Like we'll meet with professionals and they'll show up in their suit and I'm like, hey, I do hugs. And they're like, really? And like, that's how we started out. Because if you don't want to hug me, I'm sorry, you're not my ideal client. Yeah. I'm a good time and I like to hug. I feel like we got to spread little bits of love wherever we're given the opportunity. And in the same regard, like we really have fun with it. We break down those barriers. I joke with clients that like the therapy comes free. Like there is a reason that we have a successful business in getting deals closed into the finish line. And it's because like, realistically, like people get real with the people who are supporting them in a massive life decision. And when you don't have those walls broken down and you're in this weird like businessy relationship, people aren't going to be comfortable to tell you what's really coming up. But if you can actually get on the phone with your real estate agent and cry to them about what's coming up and have them totally be down for it and be like, I was expecting this phone call, like the therapy comes free. Let's talk, my friend. It will become a success because everybody's got to break. Like everybody's got to get through their shit.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
we do.
And everybody's gonna
with
have shit
somebody.
comes up. Yeah.
Yes.
Like we all have fears. We all have stuff that comes up. That's like where you get to build a good team around you because you're worthy of having the support that you deserve.
All right. Speaking of fears, it's Ask the Bros section time. So now I'm getting nervous. You guys had so many cool stories. How am I going to top that story? So you guys can feel free to ask us a question. Ask James any question or me any question, personal or business.
Oh, okay.
I got one.
Okay, go.
What are your top 3 neighborhoods? Like, what are your top 3 favorite neighborhoods in San Diego?
That's a good one.
Ooh, okay. So,
And why?
obviously this one now. So this is so
Paradise Hills?
we're in technically we're in National City.
Okay.
So this is one of those we were trying to flip a house like 2 houses down.
Okay.
And so we didn't get the offer accepted, but I remember standing up there with the wife, and she was like, this is it. Like, this is the spot we want to be in. Her whole family is National City people. They've been here for multiple generations when, Plaza Boulevard was all farm. So we knew we were going to be in National City, but when we found this spot, that was one of them. So, okay. So National City, I'm a fan of East Lake because, I'm over there all the time. I teach over there. And then, let's see, what's the third one? If I had to pick a third spot, I like the Forest Ranch area.
Oh, that's a nice area.
Yeah,
That's
nice
a
area.
really nice area.
What about you, James?
Oh, yeah.
Got to pick up the microphone.
Sorry, man. I didn't mean to catch
okay.
you off guard. I'm just curious. That was a good question, John.
That was,
Yeah,
a good
that was
question.
actually.
The agent in me really likes it. So
Yeah, I didn't know until I moved there how much I would love living in Bankers Hill.
Ooh.
I
You
love
told me that, and I was like,
Bankers
I love Bankers.
I know.
It is the best. I'm walking distance to Hillcrest, Little Italy, Gaslamp, and Balboa Park is basically my backyard. So absolutely, like, that's got to be number one. OB has always been one of my top favorites as
I'm
well.
a diehard OB fan.
I love
So
OB.
Cliffs, right?
It's
The
the
Cliffs. The
most
Cliffs.
unique. I would say most unique and like traditionally SoCal part of San Diego, like
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say
California
so.
even.
I'm pretty sure you like drive in there and you can smell the weed.
You definitely
yeah.
can. You get a little high. You just get a little high on the ambiance there.
And-
It's
Yeah,
good.
just like
It's good.
just like coming off the 8, it's like, oh, there it is.
And the dreadlocks and the unshowered people,
Yeah.
like that's all part of it too.
Well, they
Right.
don't have the shower. They were in the ocean.
That's the thing. That's
There
the
you
thing.
go. There you go. I started working in Coronado a year ago. I almost want to say it, but like, I gotta give it to the hometown. I gotta give it to Imperial Beach, which is like a hop, skip, and a jump down south from Coronado. I grew up there, love it still to this day. I go
And
down
that-
there and visit every once
Isn't
in
it
a while.
funny? He's
That-
beachy type. I'm
Yeah.
suburb type.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that area. I mean,
I
you
tell
growing
John-
up there, that
Yeah.
area has exploded.
Yes, it
Oh my
has.
gosh,
It's
it is
wild,
night
yeah.
and day. When we grew up,
Insane.
it was not a beautiful place.
Not as
I
beautiful.
mean, it's changed. It's literally changed. He's like, excuse me.
It wasn't that very nice. Like, you go to the pier, and it wasn't like the nicest looking beach. People didn't really go to the
Yeah,
beach
yeah.
I
there.
mean, even in the last 6 years, it's transferred. I tell John all the time, people out there, if you're looking for an investment, if we had money right now, I would 100% be buying an Imperial Beach.
Yeah,
I mean, I wish
Like-
we could have bought there 4 years ago, and I mean, you would be sitting pretty right now.
I
Yeah.
remember we were renting a place on 557th Street, a duplex, and I was a kid, maybe, I don't know, 10, 12 years old at the time, and we would pay $550 in rent. I remember that because it was the
Woo!
same as the address, right?
Yeah.
And like you think back and you're like, damn, like these, like if I would have known
Yeah.
at 12, obviously, what I know now at 37, but it's a big difference, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, every single property out there, almost all of them are duplexes.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's dual
Yeah.
income coming in for these
Yeah.
places. So
I mean, Imperial Beach is a gem. I would
Mhm.
love to buy a property
yeah.
there.
The only tough part that for us, it's just like it's so secluded.
Yeah,
so when
we
you drive so
debated
much
it.
as an agent, it's tough.
Yeah,
But like if we
debated
didn't have to do that, I'd be down in
I feel
IB.
like that's kind of the same thing with OB as well.
Oh, yeah.
That it's kind of
Yep.
out there. You have to really
get there.
like. There's one way in and one way out.
Yeah.
Practically. I mean, there's two or whatever.
Exactly.
But it's basically one way in, one way out, and that's what I really love about like Bankers Hill right now. Is it's just
You're in the middle of everywhere.
It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
right
And
there.
that's why we moved to the college area. We debated actually Ocean Beach and Imperial Beach when it came time to buy our house 2 years ago. And for life and convenience, which is always the number one choice in real estate, we chose the college area. But yeah. OB and IB have a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
And we'll own property there one day, I think.
Yeah, well,
There
you
you
said every day working for 16 hours and then heading to the beach, right?
Yeah, we still made it to the beach. There were times where we would just be laptopping it at the beach.
At the beach. Relax.
Technology is amazing. You can do
Right?
both ends. All the
That's
things.
true.
it's a beautiful
Alright,
thing.
Which camera do you want them at?
Who's going first?
What are we doing?
Or you guys are gonna talk to camera, tell people how to get a hold of you.
Oh,
No,
amazing.
no.
Yeah, this is my spiel.
All right, Melissa, you are looking at John's phone.
Beautiful. All right, so if you want to get in touch with us at Team Steele, we would love to hear from you. Our website is steelesanDiegohomes.com. That's STEELE, San Diego, HOMES.com. You can always find us on Instagram at Steele San Diego Homes, on Facebook at Steele San Diego Homes, and our best number is 619-887-4429. Did I forget anything?
No, that was it.
That was it.
And we're John and Melissa Steele. We would love to be your friend on Facebook or our personal Instagram.
And life.
Or your real estate
life.
agent.
Yeah.
Or your,
Well,
or-
and that's a given.
Right.
We're gonna be your real estate agent as soon as you follow us, because you're gonna be like, these peeps are too much fun to not hang out with and buy my house or sell my house.
and show up at their parties.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, now you
Dressed
guys
up
are
in
you guys
costume.
are officially
I
invited.
mean,
So
one
We should
one
have-
cool thing that I
we
would
should
love to
wear
plug.
the costumes. Okay.
One cool
Sorry,
thing that I would love to
side
plug.
note.
So on our Instagram, we love Instagram. We're all over it. We do the stories like all the time. If you guys like kind of the whole flip this house, like the investing thing, we do a thing called Fixer Friday every Friday, where we go into like dumpy homes and we talk about like, you know, what you could do to them, the potential, things to look for, you know, all that stuff. So that's and we have fun with it too. Like we get weird.
Fixer Friday's pretty
So
bomb.
every Friday, if you tune in, we got a whole thing on that. So
You can
that's-
watch John skipping. What's really caught on are the skip clips.
I-
Our audience
Skip clips.
begs to
They-
see him skip, and he hates it
I
because
hate
he's
it so
he's
much.
on a team of 5 women right now.
Seriously, I need.
If you're a male agent out there, we would love some more male energy.
yes,
Poor
would
John
love a
is-
guy on the team.
We're off to see the
love
wizard.
it.
That's all I'm thinking in my head.
Every time we do a Fixer Friday, the whole team's like, "Are you ready for the skip clip?" And John's
Hang on.
like, "No."
I don't
Hang
know
on,
how
there's
this became a
6 of
thing.
you total or 5 of you total?
6 of us total.
6. If it was 5, it would have been perfect.
Well,
Why?
one of them.
Well,
One
the
of them's-
Scarecrow, Dorothy, the Lion, the Tin Man, Toto. Actually, 6 can be the Wizard.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Perfect. Halloween is planned. We're good.
Got you.
With a skip clip.
With the skip clip.
yeah.
It's gonna
John,
be
John
the
already
perfect
I can
skip
tell
clip.
he hates me for this.
I do. I
He's
hate
like
it right
he's
now.
like he's like, oh my god, we're promoting the skipping.
Yeah.
The team's
Everybody
gonna
go
love
and
it.
check it out at
The team's-
Steele San Diego Homes.
Yes.
The skip clips.
Yes.
But it's worth it if they watch.
It will.
I mean,
will
the
be. It
Fixer
will be.
Fridays are fun. They're cool.
Yeah,
a lot
we've
of
even
people
started-
like them.
A lot of the audience
Shut
has
up
now
about skip clips.
started.
Fixer Fridays. Fixer
Yeah,
Fridays.
yeah.
Fixer Fridays.
Back to the topic at hand. Fixer Friday. No, the properties are awesome. Honestly, we've now started getting suggestions from the audience. They'll see fixers out there and they'll send us the
Yeah.
property link, and they'll be
They're
like,
literally like, go check this out.
yeah, they're like, can we see this one? So
Yeah,
Nice.
Well, you guys are going to get into flipping houses because of that watch.
well,
Honestly,
It's going to lead into
so
that watch.
actually,
We
it's funny you
do.
brought that up because
we just finished our house.
Well, we've been working on. So 2 years ago, we bought like a small little 2-bedroom 1-bath fixer in El Cerrito, which is by SDSU, and we fixed that up, lived in it, and then while we were living in it, we actually did the whole ADU thing. So we did that, and now we live in the ADU. But that whole process between, you know, renovating that first house, the permitting, I mean, it was basically new construction on the ADU. It was like 2 years. And after that, we're like, I don't think I want to flip any. Because we had the goals. We were like, you know, we want to get into flipping. We were thinking about doing like a joint venture to start out. And then we're just like,
Well,
I
now
don't think
we've
I wanna.
decided that we're going to still continue to do projects, but they're going to be like that one, the ones that we really love.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, you get to do the things that you love in life.
Yeah, what
Otherwise, why?
we realize is like kind of again like we're really good at helping people buy and sell and invest. Like I don't necessarily want to get distracted now trying to take on a flipping thing. So
Yeah, we stay focused
we
on our one
it was
thing.
literally on our goal sheet this
I
year to
crossed it
JV a
out.
project and we crossed it out. We're like, I don't want to do it.
Yep.
See, it's okay to take things off your
Yeah.
list.
It is.
Oh, yeah,
I
you
think,
have
to-
I think that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
I think that's really important, actually, to not be attached to
Mm-hmm.
what you thought, because your perception is continually changing as a human being. If I had looked back sitting in my Citibank cube 7 years ago today, I could not even have mentally, thought about where I'd be today. So the thing is, goals change. You got to cross them off. You got to shift
And
them.
you'd still be shoveling snow.
yeah,
That's right, and it would not be fun.
yeah.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks for coming out. You guys
Thanks
had
for
such
having
a
us.
cool story.
Yeah, this was a blast.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was
For
fun.
real. Fun.
For sure.
For
Super fun.
sure.
We have fun in everything we do.
Yep. Just remember that. You guys can reach out to them Ladies and gents, quick reminder, 365 pairs of shoes by the end of the year. So if you got new shoes, used shoes, or you want to donate cash, hit James up, 619-884-0045. Saturday, August 24th in IB. We love IB. 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. We'll be there. Bring a water gun and bring some shoes if you want to donate some shoes that day. And then on Sunday, Christian's Big Heart. Go to christiansbigheart.org if you want to register. It's going to be at Roar Park.
Forgot to mention it earlier. If you want your charitable organization featured on the show, just reach out to us. We would love to be of value to the community.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Ladies and gents, that's all we got for you guys today. Peace.
Thanks.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
We're out. Bye, Facebook.
Actually, Facebook cut out after about 13 minutes. So, yeah, we
Facebook
just
died?
Facebook died.
Oh, well. We still got
So
the video.
we got it out. Yeah, we